Hi gorgeous souls, I hope you're having a magic day. I'm standing out in the sun today because I want to shed some light on vitamin D. So I had this question come through about how much time is an adequate amount of time to be out in the sun and absorb vitamin D, which is a fabulous question, and we're going to unfold that a little bit today. And I also just want to give you a bit more insight on why vitamin D is fantastic to boost our system, to give us strength and to support our immune system, because that's what we're all about this month, is our immune system and looking at strength, protection, boosting, and feeling really empowered about our health and our immune system through the month of September. So standing out in the sun is awesome, and when we get into the sun, I don't know about you, but do you feel really empowered? Do you feel strength? Do you feel a fresh energy come through? Now, not all of us are going to feel like that with the sun. Some of us may feel a little bit more protective of their skin because they've got fair skin, or they've got other reasons why sun doesn't suit them, and I get that. But sun is so important for our vitamin D levels, because vitamin D is a huge part of helping other minerals absorb into the system and give us strength, especially through the bones, especially through our growth, especially through our mindset. So there's two ways that we absorb vitamin D. Vitamin D comes through the skin and also through our foods. Vitamin D foods will come from oily fish, eggs, fortified foods. So if those foods aren't necessarily something that you like to eat, then one of the best food sources that I have found with vitamin D is and it's an algae. So an algae is more like a seaweed product, and this product is called chlorella. And chlorella is really high in natural vitamin D. But chlorella is also an algae, so it's going to have that kind of, algae taste, that seaweedy kind of taste. But it's also fantastic to remove toxins out of the body, including heavy metals. So if you're feeling like that's something that you need and you're looking for a natural source of vitamin D, then that's a beautiful intake that you can take. Mushrooms are also high in vitamin D, but doesn't give us exactly the vitamin D source enough. Let's just say enough. So you'd have to use other sources. If you are low in vitamin D, you can get supplementation. So that is something that I would definitely consider if your levels are low. So that's where we get vitamin D from, and obviously with the sun. How does vitamin D absorb into the body, and what does it do? So it actually goes into the body and works in three ways. It's a major part of helping getting other nutrients into the system. Nutrients such as phosphorus and calcium, which are amazing for our bone and our growth in our system. And also the headspace, helping us with our growth in our mental capacity. So what it does, it helps to actually transport these nutrients through the small intestine, which a lot of our nutrients are absorbed in the small intestine. So it actually helps this transport. It then actually helps to then bring those nutrients into the bloodstream and deposit them where it needs to go. So for example, calcium and phosphorus are needed for our bone growth. So it's one thing about having calcium intake, but if it's not sitting in the bones or where it needs to be, then this is where we get brittle in our mineral intake. So vitamin D actually helps to transport these nutrients where it needs to be in the body. Now, the other aspect of what vitamin D helps to do is help the kidneys actually remineralize these nutrients. So it goes through the kidneys, and then the kidneys can disperse it back out into the system, and then the process starts again. So it helps to keep the nutrients in the body, which is fantastic, because if we have low and lacking of nutrients, you are going to be more vulnerable to immune deficiency, aren't you? You're going to be more susceptible. So we need to keep the mineral intake up. So vitamin D is super important for that. So the question is, how much sun do we actually need to get good, adequate amount of vitamin D? So look, at the end of the day, we're all different. If you are low in vitamin D, then you're going to need a little bit longer, or maybe look at those food sources and supplementation. But let's stick to the question around sun. Now, for me, I don't know, how does it feel for you to be out in the sun? Because when I'm feeling a little down and I'm feeling a little low, taking my time out in the sun and in the fresh air can instantly pick me up. So that's what feels right for me. And I want you to ask yourself, how does the sun feel for you? And if that's the case and you feel good, then I do recommend getting yourself out in the middle of the day, 10-15 minutes in that really glorious sunshine is going to really pick your energy up. When you're feeling more vitality, your body's going to be working better and you're able to absorb things better. So not everyone's going to want to feel great about standing in the midday sun. But if you think about the energetics of the sun in its full capacity, here it is at its brightest and its most glorious state, and you can actually, benefit from that amazing energy. So about 10 to 15 minutes, middle of the day, ideal, is perfect for you to get that sun intake. But that's being conscious as well. I do recommend being outside, getting a little bit of, vitamin D, that sunshine on your shoulders when you're walking and things like that. Try not to cover everything up too much, because that's what happens when we cover everything up. We're not made, depending on where you're living, but we're not made, especially here in Australia, we're not made to be covered up. We've got glorious weather that we're meant to be exposed to. So have a think about that. So having a look at the other option is first thing in the morning with sunrise. If you haven't got out of bed and watched the sunrise lately, then that is one of the best times to get your mineral intake from the sun. It's absolutely glorious. And so we've got the peak in the middle of the day, but we've also got this most high intensity as it's coming up in the sunrise. And that's where you can really benefit from mineral intake. Do a bit of sun gazing into that beautiful morning sun is going to be highly beneficial. So I hope that's helped you with looking at vitamin D in a different way, how you can create a bit of energy, a bit of boosting for your immunity, and supporting yourself through mineral intake. A couple of things also, if you think about doing some dry brushing on your skin, which is using a dry face washer or maybe an exfoliant glove and doing some dry brushing over your skin, just to making sure that your skin is ripe and ready to take these nutrients in from the glorious sunshine. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Much love.